Okay,
Till somebody gets back to me.
okay, good evening. Wanna, open the planning board meeting for January the 14th, 2025. If I ask the secretary to give me a roll call, will she be able to do that?
Okay, she is on.
I'm gonna unmute myself. Chairman Joyner,
Present.
Dean Shetzky,
Is it?
Jenny,
Somebody signed me out and I can't get back in.
Virginia.
Randall,
Here.
Barton, and Dr. Young. You
Absent.
have a quorum.
And Callie, is absent also.
What time now?
Up and Callie.
Okay, good evening. So, can I get a motion to open the public hearing for 117, 119, and 121 Fairview Avenue, 2 and 4 Parkwood Boulevard and 1 Oakwood Boulevard, which we call the Boulevards. Second. All in favor? Okay, they've asked to,
We have to wait.
Waiting for. Is there anyone here? Not yet. Oh, Randall just left, yeah. Excuse me, we don't have a quorum, Randall's in hall. When he comes back, Randall, we don't have a quorum while you're in that hall. He probably didn't even pay attention, he just walked out.
I think Michelle's out there.
No, he didn't at last day. The meeting left us at a standstill. What he's trying to do is connect the video, the Zoom connection with the city's outlet, so that you can go online for the city website and you'll be able to see it. Right now, you only can go into Zoom and see it. Can you see it? Okay, good. Because you left us without, when you move, we don't have a quorum. Oh, okay. Okay. So, did I say it?
The public hearing.
The public hearing is open for the boulevards. Is there anyone in the public that have a comment that they want to make about the boulevard? Anyone online? Okay,
See any hands raised?
so we're going to, what is that?
The applicant has requested that you continue it until February. They're working with DOT.
Okay, so, can I get a motion to continue the public hearing for the boulevards until February meeting?
I make a motion?
Oh, wait a minute, let me get the date, hold on. What's the date? Okay, it's February the 11th. To February the 11th, planning board meeting at 6:30 p.m.
I make a motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Can I get a motion to open up the public hearing for Mill Street Lofts?
I make a motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, is Mill Street here? Okay, hi. There we go.
You put it over here or should it over? You block it,
Will he be in the way if he went there? No, okay, just put it on. Yeah, but I want everybody to see it too, so. Maybe,
You can be
Yeah.
here.
See all that space up there? Good. Thank you. We have agendas on the table if anybody needs to know where we are. It's nice, I have pictures.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. My name is Sean Carney of Carney Realty Group. I'm here tonight with Andy Learn of CPL, project civil engineer. Just want to come before you to provide an update. We're still waiting on some of the additional surveying information for some of the Mill Street improvements in the red turnaround. But in the meantime, as we're waiting for that surveying information, we do have an updated landscaping plan. We do have renderings. We got them completed after the submission date. So we have them in handouts and over here, and they'll be part of the next submission. They do have to be updated to reflect the latest landscaping plan that was in the submission and it will be on this photo wall. The site plan, nothing?
Really landscaping, we did add the trail in the back to kind of help with the open space, you know, to bring that into compliance.
Okay, we saw that, so you could turn it a little so the public can see it. We already know what it is. Great.
So just to recap, this has been before the board since I believe November. So we have a trail to a little picnic area up here. This area is the turnaround that we're waiting on the surveying information to come back, which we should be seeing any day. And then we have the pedestrian connection up to North 3rd Street here. You'll see along Mill Street is where we have the added landscaping. And then the rendering that doesn't have the added landscaping in it.
You got a fence here.
That's not, I believe it's a guardrail.
Yeah, I know, yeah. Is that?
It's a guardrail, but yeah, the rendering isn't, perfect there. So that, with the landscaping will be added for the submission next time.
Gotcha. And is that flat? We did discuss, the possibility of some sort of sidewalk up the top.
Remember, we are still looking into that, so, the sidewalk is manageable to the east, coming around right about to the building, and to the west. Right here, it gets very challenging, because we have the, depression that we're building for the stormwater. And there's a few different things we're looking at. Either retaining walls or trying to see if we can squeeze anything on the site to ease the grading to fit the sidewalk. So it's something we don't have an answer for tonight, but we are still looking at.
And that's something that the detailed survey, the updated detailed survey of the Mill Street will help us figure that out.
Okay.
Now, what on your plan is to turn around for the bus? Because the city did say that they would do a bus route. Is that?
So right up here,
Okay.
that's the area that we have additional surveying work that was performed, and we're just waiting on the data to come back, so we can kind of finalize the grades for it, but this is the turnaround area.
So that's sized to accommodate a fire truck turnaround for state fire code. It's kind of a placeholder until we get the detailed grading, and we can finalize that.
And over to the side, I think we talked about this side area where you have, is that the stormwater?
That's the stormwater area. The open space rec area, we're still including the flood zones, as part of that area. I don't think you even need the handicap ramp potentially. I've got to call into Greg. Now that you've got the back opened up, you've got more than enough land up there if you include the woods, for your open space.
Yeah.
So you might be able to get away from that ramp going down to the stormwater basin.
Okay, I mean, if we get an interpretation from the code enforcement officer, you know, we can certainly look at that.
Yep.
Well, we had a question about the hazard that may, without a gate around it, the hazard that it might cause the children because the water at some point will be, higher, it's a catch basin, and the water might get to a point where kids can drown.
I mean, it is gated up here.
And there's a fence within the area here.
How high is that fence and how does it stop
It's
the
just a
kids
post
from?
around fence.
They didn't
Getting
have
over
a
it.
fence on the plans we saw, did that just get added?
It's on the landscaping plan, that's what was submitted. Maybe it's on the landscaping plan, maybe it didn't get turned on to the site plan. I'm not
Okay.
sure.
Okay, because it wasn't.
How high is it gonna be and is it child prevention? I mean, children can't climb over it, doesn't become a playground for them.
I mean, I think we had planned.
We wanna make sure that kids can't
4
get
foot
into
high,
it.
just something to keep people out, it wasn't intended to be climbing proof.
But you were gonna put a bench there, right?
There's benches shown on the.
I don't think you should put
Right,
benches
so,
there.
so it's gonna be accessible and encouraged for the public to use, and there's gonna be water in there of some level.
They're fencing it, so you can't get to it.
Okay.
It's gonna be blocked off. The benches are outside the area.
The question is a post and rail fence climbable?
Yeah, that's exactly what I want. I mean, what type of fence are you talking about?
I mean, any fence is climbable technically, this.
Yeah, but when you put a.
Well, the ones with the
Yeah.
bars are harder than the ones where you put your foot in it.
Yeah, we can look to do a fence with balusters and sort of like a split
Okay.
fence.
Is there any way you can cover that whole hole and if someone does get over the fence, they're not falling in some type of,
It's not a steep. grade.
does it have
It's not
a
a steep
cover?
grade. It's not intended to be. Coverage.
Can it hurt a child?
I have a child.
That's the question.
she can
Well,
get
you
hurt
need to know
in
this.
any
Can-
situation.
can it
But,
hurt a child?
this is, I don't wanna overstate, but it's more of a depression than,
Yeah, the intention
it's
is
not a steep cut and a steep, hill with
So,
sides.
I think maybe providing a visual with the fencing type and what, how high the fence would be helpful to the board.
Right.
So they can see themselves what it would look like to a child or the people living in the building.
Okay, remind you,
Needed in a
drive
way.
things from-
How much water would you anticipate, the maximum that might be in that? In that catch basin?
Three feet.
3 feet? That's drownable level. 2
Only
feet,
during the
1
storm.
feet, 1 foot
Only
is
during,
right.
only during.
Listen, we're gonna have to see. I have no idea what that's gonna look like.
It's gonna look like, you won't know
It's gonna take some time.
Will the kids know?
Sure, see that.
Not
You're gonna have.
Say, you have a fence
Residual
off,
water there for.
and EDC is fine with fencing, not stormwater lines, so as long as they fence it, it shouldn't be a concern.
Okay, I need to see the fencing. It should be-
Images of what it look like, or it's.
Okay, and the fence would be, yeah, but the fence is adequate for the kids, just for kids or residents, or, that.
All right. So you're gonna get back to us with the sidewalk and,
We're still looking into it as we have to wait for these surveying points anyway to come in, for the turnaround. And we're looking for.
I thank you for the rendering, it's really nice.
Yeah,
It really gave me a better idea of what you're building.
Nicer with.
Everybody needs to do this, see, we need this. We're vigilant.
I do have a question about your rendering though. The hill in the back, I think the grades show the hill higher than your building.
Yeah.
Your rendering, I
Doesn't
think is a
show
little bit deceiving, because you're showing actually it shorter than the building. You might wanna look at that.
They're never gonna be perfect. I agree, the hill is much higher than our building. We can have a look
Yeah,
into
we
it.
can talk to the render about that.
Yeah. Because this does show that there will be some visual impact, and you're gonna be able to see behind it, which I don't think is true.
Any, Dr. Young, you wanna come in?
Yeah, I just didn't want to interrupt the presentation.
Any more questions from the planning board? So.
I think you were waiting for the.
Yes. Any questions from the public for Mill Street?
Question, how deep is that ditch?
That, we're talking about the one that,
Stream channel?
yeah. Stand up, Linda, give us your name.
Yeah, Linda Musselman,
Linda wants to know how deep is, which ditch, Linda, which is it?
the one we're talking about, the
The stormwater. Oh, where the staircase is?
the stair and catch basin and.
Oh, yes, she's actually
I
about
call
the
it a
same,
ditch.
yeah.
You're calling it a catch basin?
So the basin,
It's a ditch.
pond where the water is being collected
Right.
is roughly 3 feet deep.
Would be,
Yeah.
and you think that's sufficient to catch all the water that potentially can come through there?
Yeah,
And if it doesn't, where does that water go?
Well, so we're limited by the size of the culvert, the storm drainage system that's in the street now. So if it does not collect it, if it overwhelms it, it will overflow, in this direction where it goes now. And there's another inlet for the system a little bit closer to the intersection with Second Street that it would end up at.
So we go to Second Street.
There's an inlet
Yeah.
just closer to Second Street.
Would this, would your design would stop all flooding in that area, at least on your side of the street? No.
No, what it will do, currently, when there's large storm events, the water will collect here. And when it's too much for the pipe to handle, it will overflow onto Mill Street through our property. So what we're doing is we're providing a channel for it to follow. So it will prevent it, it'll keep it off Mill Street to somewhere down closer to Second Street.
I'm curious how that would affect that house that sits on the corner there.
Yeah, it'll lessen it from
This one or this one?
Current.
This one.
the current situation.
This one.
Expression.
Cross road.
This is,
Across the street.
this one?
Yep, the cut film, right.
Never saw that.
Lessen it to an extent that it's noticeable, beyond what they're already.
But you can guarantee that it's not gonna put more water onto that property. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I think we can guarantee that.
And guarantee you won't make it any worse.
You guarantee that you won't make it any worse, but you can't guarantee that you won't.
And your capacity to catch the runoff water is equal to like kind of what level of storm?
Well, so the stream channel is sized to convey the 100-year storm.
Okay, that's
Right,
okay.
the current pipes, the current pipes that collect that runoff are 24 inches in diameter. They won't carry, I don't know the storm event that they'll carry, but
So what size are yours?
the stream channel that we're proposing is about 9 feet wide and 4 feet deep.
It's okay.
So that's.
So yes, that's a lot better condition than it is right now.
Yeah,
Okay.
Currently, it has a 24-inch pipe to convey the water through the site. During large rain events, that's gonna be overwhelmed. So opening a ditch up and actually let it convey through the ditch is gonna be a better condition.
Okay.
It's actually a preferred practice, it actually to open up and get the stream out of the pipe. It's actually better overall. It does give the water a chance to, and a slower storm event does give a chance to soak into the ground. There's gonna be vegetation along the channel that would have a chance to absorb some of that water. So it's overall, it's closer to a natural than the pipe.
Any more questions from the public that's here? Stand up, sir. Say your name.
Hi, Jack, building a house on Mill Street, to see you guys again. Could I just ask a question? I was on the phone listening as I was driving. Just a clarifying question about the sidewalk. Did I hear correctly that you anticipate and are planning for a sidewalk to the east and to the west, but you're still trying to figure out how to fit it, like basically for the length of the building on the street? Okay, just to clarify that.
Can I just, we're not I don't think it wouldn't be our intention just to build a sidewalk on the east side and just a sidewalk on the west side. We know we can do that right now, and we're trying to plug that middle, but I don't think we're gonna, unless the board directs us to, just build a small section of sidewalk here and on the west side. We're trying to find a way to make the sidewalk the length of the property.
That's what we're asking for. That's what we're asking for.
Thanks. And then, what you just said about the depth of the stilling basin, is it 3 feet below grade, or you're saying it would contain 3 feet of water, or is that both?
It's
Could you describe it?
basically both, it's about 3 feet below what it is now. But that's not having to water.
Okay. And then I have a question, and sorry, this is kind of, yeah, kind of complex, and maybe I won't understand the answer, but I was reading through all the documents, and it seems like this, what Linda would call a ditch, what's being called a catch basin, a stilling basin, it seems like it serves many functions. First of all, it's the end of a stream corridor, which is probably hundreds of acres of water collection up Underhill Pond.
Now, are we talking about the one right there or the one that goes all the way to
The
Second
one on the
Street?
property,
Okay.
that's being dug, right?
Mhm.
So it's located in a FEMA floodplain. It is the collection of a stream, and it is also where the water that lands on this property is being diverted to. So what is it? I guess I don't know how better to ask the question. Is it a stormwater basin? Is it? And I'm trying to understand how water will impact this space, which is being directed from many different sources.
Our consultant will answer that.
Sure,
Unless you,
a question for both of you.
they've got a lot of things going on the site. To handle the stormwater that they're generating with the new building and pavement, they've got an underground system that's under the parking lot.
Okay,
That'll handle any of the runoff that's generated from their site. The ditch along the side is a conveyance measure to help alleviate some of the flooding. Because currently the water comes down, the 24-inch pipe can't handle it,
Right.
floods onto the road, floods through the property, and eventually, floods the road. The basin, it shouldn't be called a pond, it's more of a dry detention basin, and that's a better term for it, handles the impact to the floodplain where they're filling it in. So they're filling in, let's say, 2 cubic yards of floodplain. They're mitigating that by creating 4 cubic yards of area below the existing elevation. So that gives the water someplace to go where it's displaced by what they're filling in. So they're actually got a 2-to-1. So they're making the condition better than what's currently out there.
And I wanted y'all to hear from our consultant, because that's who advises us.
sure.
Okay.
So like you said, it serves multiple purposes, because it's
Correct.
flood mitigation, but it's also a means of getting the water from the channel into the pipe. Gives it a chance to slow down and be able to direct it into that pipe that's there. That's not good.
And I want to make sure that all of these conditions that we're talking about are tied into, the variance that you're asking for. Sidewalk. Connecting it all in front of the building.
Yeah, I'm curious, how come they don't have to have a sidewalk and everybody else in Hudson does?
But we are asking them for a sidewalk. Yeah.
Wait.
When Hudson created the sidewalk
Pardon
district, Hudson created the sidewalk district and.
Oh, they're not in it?
No.
They accepted all their own properties.
But we're asking them that, and they're trying to do everything they can to accommodate us.
But the applicant will purchase the property. Does that not enroll it into the sidewalk district?
No.
I know this is not your law.
So I think what we just heard though was that the planning board is making the sidewalk a consideration for whether or not to grant the height variance.
Did you understood that, right, when I said?
I do now.
Okay, so I'll remember that look. Facebook, but I thought he got it.
One, sure, and one of the things we're looking at for the sidewalk, if this was a simpler site, it would be very easy to do a sidewalk, and we'd be happy to do it. One of the kind of things that we're trying to do, is we're trying to make the flooding better, right, by uncovering the pipe, but by doing so, we're creating this drainage ditch that prevents us from having a sidewalk. So we're not going to be doing this, but one of the things we're looking at is if we pipe that instead of opening that drainage ditch, then that allows us to add the sidewalk. Right, so we're trying, there's a couple different things, I just want you to empathize that. It's not as simple
Okay,
as us.
yeah,
I want you to pay
yeah.
for it, we're constrained because we're creating this channel.
It will be considered, definitely, if, you know,
No, that channel's gonna be that channel's gonna be right next to the fence. Right below, it's gonna be right next to the fence, right below the fence where your fence is.
Yeah, it'll be between,
that's parking.
our parking and the.
Are you saying?
Right, but I guess I'm saying is that, is the channel gonna be up against where the road is?
Yes.
Yeah.
So could you perhaps, you couldn't do a sidewalk, could you perhaps put a sort of permeable substance over the top of the pipe where, where the pipe couldn't be damaged, that people can walk on?
Oh,
So instead of concrete, something we so the water can seep down.
That'd be the same, that's just.
I mean, that's
Chris,
just piping it.
Chris has an idea.
What if you eliminate that 4 or 5 foot green island in the parking lot? That might give you enough space to actually pull that parking lot in and get a sidewalk.
Yeah. Cause that serves no purpose, nobody walks on it.
There's a 4 foot strip in the middle.
Yeah.
We did look at that, I think we're constricted on the turnaround, so even if we press that and we can always, we don't have to do this.
Okay.
We're looking at a lot of different options and we're open to that.
I think what we might do is brainstorm a couple of things and maybe we'll reach out.
Okay.
We thank you for that.
Yeah.
Any more questions from the public that's here? Okay, Randall, is anyone online that wants to ask a question regarding Mill Street?
No, not that I can see. Anyone's hand is raised.
Okay, any,
One question, all right.
Yes.
Do a new rendering so that we see it, so we see the reality of the hill, or you guys just let that go?
No, we're updating the rendering with the landscaping as well.
Because I think it's pretty unfair to show something that doesn't really represent what you're going to. Missing the hill is a pretty big deal.
and it does
Yeah,
show,
I think
yeah,
we're addition, I think the rendering end up looking a lot better when we have the grade for the hill and the landscaping.
Depends on how you look at it.
And, but we did ask a question about the walkway. We wanted to know is, how is that gonna be built? Could you show that also in your new rendering? Is it gonna have, what is it gonna be like? It's gonna be a sidewalk that goes up a hill or what?
Oh, in the back.
Yeah, so the back, so the back goes up a hill, doesn't it?
Yeah, so the site is gonna be created in a way that it's gonna be a walkable,
But it's gonna go up a hill.
it's gonna go up a hill gradually.
And where is it going?
There's gonna be a little seating area with picnic tables back here for people to sit and enjoy.
Oh, it's not gonna go to Second Street?
So that's a different.
There's another stone that's back here.
Is that part of your building, part of your property?
We're proposing that as part of the mitigation and as to, as far as,
Okay, cause it doesn't show here. So when you do the renderings again, show us all of that. I don't see it here at all.
Well, we have it on the aerial, but the problem is the trees.
I see it, I'm looking at the area, where is it?
If you look between leaves, you can see a snippet of the walking path. So we can always, change the
Yeah, make that-
transparency of the trees.
The fence is gonna start where?
Right here.
The fence is gonna start where and where?
path starts at the back of building.
Picnic area? Is that what you're saying?
It starts at the back of building two, and just kind of meanders right.
This is the pedestrian.
Up the hill.
And where's it gonna
This is the.
exit on top of the hill?
And that sign building two just stays on our site, it's just an open space path for our residents. And then there's a separate path that at the turnaround at the end of Mill Street will go up the hill and connect to Northern.
With a turnaround, it's okay.
Yes,
Yeah, we like this, I like to see that.
it's on there, she's buried, so we'll
Yeah,
make some trees.
Cassandra was just showing me the two paths, one goes here, but the trees cover it, and one comes out here.
But it's hard to see if North is up here.
Right, so let's see. Any more questions? Okay, so,
Can I make one last comment?
yes, sure,
I sincerely appreciate the effort to include pedestrian access to this site. It's a hard hill to climb. The better that access is improved, the better the residents of this project will get into town. 50 parking spaces or whatever for 70 units, 100 bedrooms, 100+ people, they'll need to be able to walk into town. So we need the path on Third Street, we need improvements at Second Street. We appreciate the Dugway, all this is great improvements, so just saying.
oh, that's nice of you. We appreciate, you appreciated it.
Trying.
We need to show that in the next meeting, okay? Then we'll post it and everybody will be able to see it, because I would like to see where that path, we were talking about where that went now, another one. You're connecting to, Second Street. Oh, yeah. The sidewalks.
So, if it's on the landscape plan, it's it, but are there maintenance notes indicating that the path will stay clear during all weather conditions? Is that?
We haven't gotten that far yet.
All right, yeah. Make sure we know who's responsible for doing what. Okay, okay, so can we move on? Okay, can I get a motion?
You want a motion for?
To continue the public hearing to February 11th.
Yeah, I'll get a motion to continue the public hearing until February 11th for Mill Street. Yes.
That's real good.
Oh, wait a minute, we'll let them know in a minute. Is the escrow good on Mill Street?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, escrow is good. Now, can I get a motion to continue your public hearing until February the 11th, 2025?
Yes.
Second, all in favor? Oh, you know what, we gotta redo this.
It doesn't need to be a.
The lighting, especially on the path walk, we need to know, are you gonna light that up? Is it gonna be motion?
Which path?
Both,
So we can one on-site and off-site.
right,
Yeah, well, yeah, well.
This is dark over there.
We could look at lighting it, it would be our preference that it's not utilized at night. Or we can look at utilizing it, just safety and security, it's a path through the woods at night.
that's the best time you get lighted up. It should be lit, you know, once it's there, how you gonna stop people from using it? Unless you gate it off or something like that.
We're not gonna stop anyone. from using it.
Right, so you might as well put light there just in case someone does use it.
Sure.
They'll see what's happening to them. Okay, so, all right, so, we'll continue this hearing until February 11th, and thank you.
Have a great, thank you.
Thank you.
Good night. Thank you. Nice rendering, I like this. Okay. Okay, now we're into old business, which is 41-43 North 7th Street. Are you here today? Was that the Thai restaurant? Yeah. Okay.
Did you have a conversation with them?
No, I didn't. Okay, so we're gonna just can we just remove them until we get that?
No, I didn't hear.
You had a conversation with them?
Yeah, it was informal, but they said they didn't receive the notice to show up. They said that they seen it, but they didn't get the notice to show up. For the hearing, for the hearing.
We don't send notices to show up.
No, so how would they know to show up?
They submit their application within 15 days, like, it says on the application, and then they'll be on the agenda. They would
I don't
only
think they
receive
do
a
that.
notice if we, for some reason, we don't want them to show up.
Yeah, no, okay, well, I think there's a miscommunication, because Andy, the guy from the Thai place, said that he didn't show up because he didn't know to show up.
Okay, so
Okay.
we'll have to reach out before the next meeting.
Okay.
So why didn't you show up today?
Yeah, why didn't you show up
That would
today?
make logical sense.
Well, he still didn't know to show up. Nobody asked him to show up, so.
So even today, they didn't show up. We'll reach out.
Well, maybe he's listening now and he'll know.
To-
Maybe
yeah.
next
To
week.
go.
For the
Oh.
February 11th meeting.
For February 11th, okay. Did you tell him, Brandon, when he asked you, we'll come to the next meeting?
I said, I'd look into it.
Well, now you know, just tell him next time you show up.
Okay, that's good. All right, now we're gonna,
You always learn.
now we're gonna have 175 South Front Street. That's the, we're continuing the conditional use permit for the dock at 175 South Front Street. Okay,
Evening, everybody. My name is TJ Rowan, some of you
TJ,
know me.
okay.
I'm attorney of White Masterman and Hannah, and I'm here on behalf of applicant, A. Colorusso and Son Inc. So I represent Colorusso in connection with, as Judge Ranger said, their application for conditional use permit, in relation to a repair that they made at their waterfront property, their commercial dock, which we'll just generally call the dock. This application has been pending before the board since about 2017. It's been a while since we've been before the board, specifically only talking about the dock. So the board asked us to come in and just sort of give a re-presentation, to familiarize board members that weren't on the board at the time the application was made with where the project, what the project was, what we're seeking, and what procedural steps we've taken so far. So, as I said, the application involves a bulkhead repair that was made at the dock 8 years ago. Under the city code, that repair triggered a requirement that we apply to the planning board for a determination in the form of a conditional use permit to see whether there are any other additional conditions necessary to protect, under the code, two classes of people. Those residents living in close proximity to the dock and the public recreating and using public facilities adjacent to the dock. As we'll get into and as we can show, there are no residents in close proximity to the dock. And the entire purpose of our repair was to protect anybody who would be recreating at basically the or kayaking or paddleboarding near the dock. So a little bit of background. So Colorusso owns this commercial dock for the transported shipment of raw goods and materials, including loading and unloading equipment, storage of raw materials. Essentially, materials are either, not to oversimplify things, loaded from trucks to barges or from barges to trucks at their commercial dock. In 2016, there was, as a result of some erosion that was happening at the dock's river's edge, Colorusso completed an erosion control project, which had two components. It was on an area of the dock where no operations even occurred. One component of that was to placement of rocks along a 170-foot portion of the Hudson River, and the repair, which is the subject of our application, was to repair a 75-foot section of bulkhead along the north side of the dock. The repair was completed in 2016 in compliance with state and federal permits. We want to make clear the repair did not allow for any expansion of operation or activities on the dock. Rather, it was just to stabilize the shoreline and to prevent further erosion into the Hudson River. Leading us to the planning board in January 2017, after we completed the repair, the code enforcement officer notified Colorusso that The repair constituted what's referred to under the city code as an action or that triggers our obligation to come before the planning board. So in May of 2017, we submitted our conditional use permit application. In June of 2017, the planning board accepted the application as complete and scheduled a public hearing. The public hearing was held and was subsequently closed in September of 2017. So for the past 7.5 years, since the close of the public hearing, we've expressed our position to the board that the project is not subject to secret, and that the planning board, and requested that the planning board move ahead with determining whether there are any necessary conditions to protect those two classes of people I just mentioned. Resolving the secret issue, this repair is a type 2 action, which was upheld by the Supreme Court. So secret, it's not subject to environmental review. So what's left? We had a public hearing, it's not subject to secret, so what's left is we're requesting the planning board move forward with its determination as to whether they feel that there's any special conditions necessary to protect the residents in the vicinity and the recreating public near the dock. Another point we want to make clear is, typically when you're seeking a conditional use, you would come before, you would apply to the planning board, public hearing, and then the planning board would approve. Our dock was in existence and operating. So it basically, the code said there's a few uses in the CR district which were located that can continue to operate after the code is enacted, including our commercial dock, subject to, I think there's about 10 conditions in the code that we are currently subject to, involving, which have restrictions on emissions, noise, operating times, engine idling, lighting, and visual impacts. Since we purchased the dock in 2014, Colorado has been in compliance with all of these conditions. Based on the foregoing, as we said, we think that the code is pretty clear that the additional conditions, because of the repair, should be tied to the repair, and should also follow the city code, which is, directly related to only those two classes of people, those living in the vicinity of the dock, which there are none, and those who would be recreating adjacent to the dock, which was the purpose of doing the repair itself. One other point I wanted to make, and I brought this up to the board before, is, typically, like you saw with the other projects, you would have a site plan or visuals or anything like that. The repair was done, 8 years ago, so we're not proposing anything. So we don't have really any site plan or anything for the planning board to review. We can certainly put one together if the board wants that. But to help the board, we've invited, obviously, the board, any members want to come down for a site visit to Colorado, so they would be happy to host you guys between now and the next meeting, if you'd like to go and get a better sense of the operations, because it's probably, given the dock's nature, it's probably easier to see it in person to understand than to see it just on a site plan. And that's it. So I just want to say thank you for your time.
I just want to remind the board of the court's decision. Did everybody understand that? Okay. And going forward, the planning board will review the application in accordance to the court's decision. Therefore, the planning board cannot review any additional environmental impacts under SEQA. And in 2020, as he said, the planning board classified this action as a type 1 under the state environment quality SEQA, and the court ruled this project to be a type 2. So when Colorado took it to the court, we lost the case. So the type 1 classification that was given to this application in 2020 was not upheld by the court. So they classified it as a type 2, so we don't have SEQA anymore.
But part of the 10 items that you mentioned that are within the initial purview
Right.
are the visual impacts.
Yeah, those are the
And-
things.
Yep.
So when I was referencing those 10 conditions, those are conditions that are within the code now that in 2011, the city thought were necessary to impose on. So those are
Yeah.
conditions we're subject to,
Right.
not,
So,
In other words, that's why you're still operating in St.
so Randall, there are provisions in the code related to special use permits for dock operations.
Mhm.
There are some conditions already, so like the noise,
yeah,
that, you know, the county has recommended to, that stay on the plan, and then if there are any other conditions, they have to be related to those 10 or so items that are specifically in the code.
Yeah, but that's
related
why
to
I
dock
mentioned,
operations.
I realize, that's why I mentioned visual impact was one of them, and then you talked about the impact of the people recreating near or adjacent to the dock.
yeah,
So that those might be concerns that we will take up.
absolutely. Yeah, and that's expressly set forth and ironic or whatever, but the project that's kicking this off, that project was to protect those people because that northern part where there is public access for people to kayak was eroding, and that's what this bulkhead repair was to protect, and protect against.
Okay, so I'm just gonna,
Was there rationale, this is before my time, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
But was there rationale why the repairs were made, if, in my understanding, it was made, I was saying, I'm assuming that the repairs themselves were proper, but that it was the timing of the repairs that were made were improper? Like it wasn't the permit that was necessary to make. And
Correct.
Okay.
And Victoria.
Yeah, well, just to-
Yeah.
the repairs needed several permits, some from DEC. They neglected to get the permit from the planning board at the time. So they had the state permits for the repair, they just didn't come to the planning board before doing the repair.
Was there any reason in specific that that didn't happen?
So at the time, Colarusso believed that to trigger the conditional use permit, you have to do something more. They didn't think that just
They didn't think it was
repairing would trigger us needing, we didn't think that we needed a planning board permit at the time. We knew we needed state and federal permits, which they got, received, and built in compliance with. It wasn't until months after that, they received a notice of.
in other words, they had did the work, not knowing they had to come to the planning board. A complaint was lodged with the code enforcement officer,
Correct.
and then he went down. And when he went down and did his inspection, that's what triggered that they had to come back to, they had to go to. the
I just want to
planning board.
clarify, I just want to put that also back in the record for people that didn't know they was correct.
For the record, there was confusion at the time. I'm J.R. Hefner from Colorado. I talked to the code enforcement officer. I told him what was going on, and there was confusion to if it was his jurisdiction or not. So he, at the time, didn't feel that, because the work was being done in coastal waters, that it wasn't for Hudson. So there was confusion there. We proceeded on, and then it changed once he got different information, which came to the order to remedy and then brought us here in 2017.
So you're saying that you did go to the code
Yeah, I
enforcement
talked to
officer,
him and
and
at
he
first,
couldn't tell you whether or not it was his jurisdiction. or not.
right, at first he didn't believe it was, but a couple months went by and everything changed.
Okay, because when I read it, it just went, it came to the point where he, you know, it was done and he was told.
Correct.
Okay.
Because
we
he
can
was
understand.
there with me personally, and at the time, he didn't think that we needed to. But when he learned more, because it's not cut and dry, there's a lot to that dock operation. Once he learned that, he said, yes, you did have to come.
So you said you proceeded in good faith?
Yes,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, and not, it wasn't anybody's fault, it's just, like you said, there's 10 codes to go through and what triggers and what doesn't trigger.
Oh, we fully understand. If it wasn't for these two, I don't know who would get done.
And the nature of the repair that you made was such that you said it was safeguarding the public?
Okay, so this is on the north end of the bulkhead. Okay, we load,
Closest to the dock, to the public dock.
correct,
Yes.
we load, there's 425 feet of bulkhead. and then this is the inlet where the kayakers come in,
Yeah,
okay, and tie up. Well, there was concrete, gravel, blacktop eroding into the water, things were falling in, it was very unsafe. So we got a hold of the Army Corps, Department of State, and many others to say, hey, we would like to fix this. Which we got all the permits for, and there was just basically confusion here in Hudson whether we needed to come here or not. That's all.
What'd you say?
I need a visual of the site to make sure.
Okay, so I wanted to know if we wanted to do a site visit.
I would.
Because we do have board members now, that I've been there, but the rest, no, I don't think any of them, you, yeah. But the rest of the board has never been there, and you know, it does help,
yeah, absolutely.
I'm telling you, because, helped me a lot to go over there.
I can coordinate Victoria and get that set up for you guys with the client.
Is a weekend better than a weekday? or-
Weekend is better for me than a weekday if you wanna do it early.
Did you?
Yeah, me too.
But you guys operate on Saturdays? You do, right?
We can come in on a Saturday.
Oh, I think we wanna see it.
No, I mean, we wanna see what you
When
do.
you're
Not likely
operating.
will be coming here,
Wow.
anything on.
So what time do you quit on a weekday?
We try to be out of there around 4.
Wasn't our last visit on the weekend though?
It was.
Yeah, we did that one.
Yeah.
No, that was when we were doing the road.
I know, but our last visit to
Yeah,
them.
that was on the road,
Yeah, but it was on the weekend.
right.
I mean, it's easy for me to do it, like, first thing in the morning on that. That was on the Saturday, right? First thing
Yeah, it
on
was on
Saturday.
the Saturday.
Yeah, but we won't see,
But we won't see the actual
we
action
wouldn't
and
see
the
the
activity.
operation, we
I
want to
mean,
see the document.
Fridays I get out a little bit earlier, make sure I get out early. On Friday,
Do we need to see the
I leave
operation?
on time.
Yeah, you, yeah.
So
you
I
need to
could-
see the operation. You need to see the dock, you need to see where it ends, where it begins.
I could
you need to
catch
see
something
where
at
the
a
bottom is straight. And you need to see the whole,
We could do 2 separate sidewalks, I'm sure they'd accommodate a weekend component and a weekday component for, depending on people's.
I hear that, but if you really want me to see a live action, then I will have to figure out a way to do a weekday.
Mhm.
And so that could be something that we discuss as a board at a, at a different time or whatever, but I don't know usually through,
Do you
three
need,
onward.
do you need to do it as a group, or if somebody had an opening, could I meet them there? or-
yeah, I think that's gonna be how it is,
Because I could do that as well.
Okay, sounds good. thank you.
okay?
So Victoria, you'll set something up and let us know, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll get a few times and we'll see how.
as long as we get down there before the next meeting, okay?
You could do individual
Yeah, it's very flexible.
or groups or 2 at a time.
With a little bit of notice, whatever works.
Okay, so we'll get together, see what we're.
When's your most active time?
Not an answer.
I've been, but I've been
Sorry
there,
about that, I can't do that.
I've been there, I've seen the operation, I've seen the whole thing. Yeah, so the new bulkhead, everything.
Well, why do we need to see?
I'm
I was
all-
on the board and now.
Because we're dealing with visual impact, and we're dealing with,
Needs to be daylight.
safety. Yeah, it needs to be daylight, but I don't
Yeah.
see what, we need to see them in operation. I'm just,
Well, if you don't wanna see it in operation.
I just don't see the value of that.
But it was very valuable for me to see it in operation.
Victoria, I have off the 29th.
Okay.
So why don't we all do it, can we all do it on the 29th?
Early, what day is it?
I think it's on Wednesday, I think it's a Wednesday, is it a Wednesday?
Yeah, it's a Wednesday.
I can do afternoon.
Okay, so let's get a time, how about you?
JR,
29th?
Take a video of it operating.
Yeah.
Or you can
Or
go.
it's
I
not
know
when
it's different schedules.
Yeah, but when you can.
Okay, I'll let you know.
Yeah,
Okay.
but when you can. So right now, we can get a group for the 29th. About what time? What's a good time for you guys on the 29th?
Wednesday the 29th.
How about, can we do one? I think I could do early in the afternoon.
1 p.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should.
Can we do one?
I should, yeah, I'll be back.
Virginia,
I have one appointment.
Flexible.
Up in all-
1 PM?
10:30, 11,
Okay.
I'll be back by 12:30.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna, Wednesday, the 29th at 1 PM. We all meet. Park your car on the
I'll walk, I live not too far from there.
Well.
We're going to the waterfront, I mean.
Right, park your car, and walk, and then we walk to college, so.
We're walking down to the river,
One,
right?
yeah.
Are we?
Site visit.
You have a question, are you gonna take any audience questions yet?
No, I'm just putting things in. Okay, so we got a site visit for the 29th Wednesday at 1 P.M. And that's gonna be most of the board, maybe those that don't come will contact you later. Well, get the.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, and will you have something going on there?
We have a contact number, contact thing?
Who's the contact person?
Then that can be, J.R. Hefner,
And the office number?
518-828-3218, extension 112.
Is that public? Because if not, just wait. I should have said.
112.
Please forward all your questions too.
That's like after the fact.
Okay. Okay, so we also, we're gonna establish escrow here. No, they don't have, the escrow that you do have the balance, do they have a balance here? Gene is the escrow.
Yeah, and I think we dropped off the check right after our workshop.
Calarusis has a balance in the good of $2,000 today.
Is that for the road or is it for the
Well-
dock?
That's a good question. I asked that question before.
That was a check, so after following the workshop, we received a request. I think might have been in the negative from the other project. And we brought it good, and then we were requested to put in $2,000 for engineering and legal review related to this application, so I think escrow is set.
Okay, the way the city treasurer has it listed, it's just listed as Calaruso.
Yeah,
So,
that's for this application,
And that's-
that check was just dropped off recently.
and as of yesterday, the 13th, the balance is $2,000.
That's what we were asking about.
Okay, so we're.
Okay, so that's
prior
for the
to
dock.
this.
Yeah.
So you're good. Escrow is good. Okay, any more questions from the board, the attorneys, the consultant?
We can set this for public hearing.
We'll go down now. We'll go down.
We've done it first, and then.
So, when you were speaking earlier.
Yeah, yeah.
about public hearing, you said 2017, but my notes said it was closed in 2020.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes
Well-
sense, but.
So I think what happened was, the dock application came in first.
Mhm.
It was opened, it was closed. Then I think the whole road application came in. And I think at the time that planning board combined the
They
application
did.
and reopened the public hearing.
Okay, so there might have been, so that could have
So
been a
then the
second.
second hearing, and that's the public hearing that went on.
Right, but that was for both the dock and the road.
Correct.
I was
That
on
one was
board at
about
that
3
time.
years long.
That was about 3 years long.
But that was invalidated,
Oh, and that's another thing, yeah.
that's combined, right?
Yeah.
And that was closed in
Yeah, there-
2020 when they gave you a policy.
Exactly, the whole road has been approved and
Right,
that's set, so
right.
now we're only left with just the dock. So there was a solo public hearing just on the dock, then there was combined public hearing on both. But now I understand, the board,
Well, that was the two court decisions, one on the road and one on the dock.
Yeah.
Splitting them both, but they never should have been decided together. Okay, so we already did the dock, the road, now we're on the dock.
Yeah.
Okay? All right, any questions from the public that's
We
here?
do, we have a question from Margaret Morris.
Any questions from the public that's here?
Oh, excuse me.
Okay, now, we'll take questions from the, Margaret? Hello? Margaret? Continue.
Let me unmute her, wait a minute, ask to unmute,
You're muted.
there you go,
Can you hear me now?
yes,
Yeah. So, the repair to the dock, I've I've gone back and forth. I've gone down to the dock. I've spent time with Paul. I've seen the whole operation. The repair to the dock didn't seem to me to be an issue. However, since 2017, Colarusso has been operating on the riverfront without an approval to use. It's been in discussion as to whether or not they can or cannot operate. And so I'm really concerned that we have this situation at the riverfront, and this is not a confirmed and accepted use of that riverfront for the activities that are going on. So back in 2011, I believe, there was an agreement. There was a consensus that this would not go forward. So I'm like really concerned that we're now looking at just saying, oh yeah, that's fine. We will approve the use of this dock, that all of that can go forward. And I think there needs to be more of an evaluation from from the impact on the riverfront and for the future of Hudson on approving the ongoing use of that dock for Colarusso. And I'm not really hearing that there's due diligence going on here to evaluate what that means for the Hudson riverfront. And just waving it off and saying, oh yes, that's fine. I don't think that's okay.
Margaret, we posted, huh?
You can address one piece of that.
Okay, I was gonna tell her we posted everything with the full decision and stuff.
Sure, you can go ahead.
No, you go first.
Oh, I was gonna say, to address the comment about the ongoing use, I had a very similar concern a few years back. But there's just two pieces to answer that. The first is that the planning board doesn't do enforcement. Enforcement is done by a separate entity within the city. And so when something is wrong, that is not the planning board's job. The planning board's job is to evaluate applications that it receives before it. The second part of it, though, we may want to just ask Craig Haig for his opinion. I don't want to misspeak, but last time we talked about it, it was his opinion that submitting the application was all that was required for the notice of violation, which means that they were not in violation by pursuing the right approvals. And I might be saying that incorrectly, so we can ask Craig just to give us an update on that. But again, that is not the planning board's role, that's a different agency.
And our limitations have been posted on the website as to the court decision is posted. And that gives you a clear understanding of what the planning board can and cannot do. And we are obligated to follow, to be in compliance with the court decision. And that's been posted on our website, so you can go on the website and upload that, and you'll see exactly what we can and cannot do. And that's our restriction. That's what we're doing.
Victoria, can you just say, for the benefit of Margaret and the public, once again, what the purview and the scope of this is in terms of the plan?
Well, we're gonna put that up, because I have it here, so,
Well, I mean, it's in the decision.
it is, it's written in, it's very clear.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
but can you just?
So the court decision states that the planning board is authorized, and this is where the quote starts, to impose certain conditions as specified in the code, along with additional conditions on such continued use of the dock as may be necessary to protect the health, safety, and welfare of residents living in close proximity to commercial docks and the public while recreating and using public facilities adjacent to commercial docks. So that's your task. There's special permit standards or conditional use permit standards within the zoning law. You're all familiar with them. And so we'll have to go through each and every one of them and see how this project addresses or doesn't address them.
But it doesn't talk about Our purview is not whether it should exist.
Sorry, may I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, Margaret.
From 2017 to present, Colarusso has been operating at a dock without actual permission. That's a fact.
So again,
That's
Mr. Morris, I think we need to get an opinion from Craig on that, because that's not something we can decide.
I think that's a good idea. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
What Craig did give us is an order to remedy in 2017, or whatever that date was. It said that, which kept us in compliance, which was coming to the planning board.
Did you put that on multi-cop? Did you?
We can get a copy.
If you have a copy of that decision, would you upload it?
Yeah.
And then the public could see it?
The order to remedy.
Yeah, what remedy was to remedy what?
Our order to remedy was to come in front of the planning board about the project.
But to remedy doing that without having first getting plan board approval.
And to continue your operation while you get the approval.
Correct, that's what kept us in compliance.
That's what I think she's asking.
Okay.
Why they continuing their operation
Right.
without having approval, or they needed it since 2017. Okay, so if you can upload that,
Sure.
that'll be for public review, because that's not just her question, it is a question.
Right.
Yeah, and the court decision, just to add on top of that, the court decision recognizes that the type of business Colarusso is pre-existing the zoning
Yes.
code has a vested right to operate.
Yeah.
The planning board can put conditions, the zoning code puts conditions, that we're all agreed on, but the court made it clear that we have a constitutional right to operate at that property because we were operating before they enacted the zoning code.
Yes, it did say that, and that's in the court decision. So just upload that correct decision. Will we have to seek another one if they have one?
We can ask Craig to clarify.
Okay, so send us a copy, but upload it and get notified out for the public. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anyone else, Randall?
No, nothing I can say.
Okay, so right now we have escrow from you. And, we have a site plan visit. So we're going to just move this to next month. We're not gonna discuss that. We wanna go and see it and let the board members become more familiar with the project, okay? Oh, Bettina, Dr. Young, you want a visual?
Well, I'll get the visual on what I meant. when I-
But maybe, yeah.
You want it
if-
rendering?
Yeah, if you can, you think you can do that? Would that be a problem? Give us your own rendering. Nothing has changed there, right?
I don't think we ever had a rendering of the repair.
In 2020, didn't you come to the planning board showing us the whole dock and how it
We
operated?
could probably put some photos together.
Yeah, I think, we saw the photos,
Like a
yes.
site plan.
Yeah, like.
Yes.
Where things are.
Right.
I have no problem with that, but what I was actually asking for is to actually go there and see it myself.
Yeah.
Just don't push me in.
Okay. But a rendering for the public would be nice too, for those.
I can do
people who-
that.
Okay.
On the summer camp, I'm gonna put it.
Well, not the.
If you go in, these guys can kick you out, they just push you out there.
All right,
And
so,
I can roll boat too.
okay, so we'll bring it back next month for just, okay. All right, so we'll see you next month, okay?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. New business. 60 South Front Street, are you here today? Thanks. Hi.
Hi, I'm Ben Payne. I'm the owner of Katie's Restaurants, Richard Wines, The Caboose, and now the Wick Hotel. Very, very excited to present, a little bit of an expansion for Kitty's Market and Restaurant. It's done really well and we want to grow. So, we are really excited about contributing our little piece to
waterfront, and, I'm just excited to show you what we've got, and, I'm gonna let Michael take it away.
You bought some renderings or something? No, okay.
No, they were sent to you,
Yes, they were.
so. You ready? You set?
Go for it.
So I'm Mike Keneally, Shamrock Engineering, I'm one of the consultants on the project. Sajak was supposed to be here, but his wife decided to have a baby today, it's been 2 weeks, so. So the second floor plan, or we're gonna.
Okay, can I ask you, now the second floor is gonna be over the restaurant portion, not the
Yes, ma'am.
store.
Correct. It's actually, it covers.
Both sections. There's an apartment up there now, or it was.
We converted it to an office and for storage and other things, and now we're getting a lot of demand, so we want to put in an extra kitchen, et cetera.
The previous use, right now it's permitted as an office. The previous use was an apartment.
Apartment, yes.
So right now it is permitted as an office space. The plan is the request is to make it a dining room and a little bigger prep kitchen in that area. And then there's a mechanical room up there also.
So you had to get a change of use when you turned it in from apartment to office?
Correct.
Yes.
That was the previous change. That's
And you
already-
got that decision from zoning?
Yes,
Yes.
Do we need a copy of that? No.
I think you have.
We have it, we may have it, we may.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Is it gonna function autonomously from the other restaurant or in conjunction with it?
Both.
It's gonna be like, it could be an event center. Yes, okay, yeah. That's all.
Well, it's more, so the concept is really just private dining, so anybody that wants to
Do something up there.
do something special for them, for a small group, that's what we wanna, make space for.
I
Okay,
think we were looking at.
so it's not additional seating for the restaurant per se. It's its own sort of private dining space.
Correct, but.
Yeah, yes, correct. It's gonna be private. With the,
In conjunction with the restaurant, but not
It
like,
can be an expansion of the restaurant, but it can also be for private, can be used for private events as well.
In other words, that'll be like that cut, like,
okay, so it's not like your tables are full downstairs.
Yeah.
You can.
like the
go
Wonder
upstairs and
Bar.
I think that is.
Randall, like the Wonder Bar, in the back, sometimes they have their private things,
eat. Right,
and then sometimes it's
They
part of
just
the
have-
restaurant,
okay.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
We were asking about how is it, how are we gonna exit and enter?
so there's a curved stair there now to the, from the back up onto the deck,
Exterior.
exterior stair. The intention is to put another stair on the, I want to call it the alley side between the restaurant and the caboose, I guess you call it.
And that's gonna be exterior also?
Exterior also, yeah.
How is it gonna be made ADA accessible?
So we talked to Craig about the way that's designated is that it is an expansion of the restaurant, so we would shut down the restaurant if it's, and we would accommodate ADA in the restaurant if need be.
We gotta do that.
And
So at no point would there be two events going on at once?
no, sir.
But they still have to be ADA accessible, don't they?
So we would always accommodate, if there was a need for ADA, we would accommodate that. That is the plan, and that's what the plan we've worked out with Craig, and this is part of our proposal.
Is that legal? I think it has to be, because every restaurant I know, there's a restaurant in Ghent, is it Ghent? And how they did their ADA is they did a lift that takes you up to the second floor.
Yeah, usually you have to have an elevator,
Yeah,
especially if
something,
it's a separate independent space. If it was overflow seating for the restaurant that they currently have,
It is that.
you just said it wasn't.
Make it clear, so it is an expansion of the restaurant, correct? And if somebody wanted to do a private event, we would offer them
The upstairs or the downstairs.
But it's not
Whatever-
ADA accessible.
But either one, we would accommodate, if they needed an ADA accessibility, it would be accommodated in the downstairs, and we would shut down the rest, we would have the event in the restaurant. That's it. And we-
So the restaurant is either expansion for your restaurant downstairs, or it's private dining, private event space, if somebody wants to come and rent it. Is that right?
Correct.
I think they have to, I think, I don't know, Chris, I mean, am I
Again,
wrong to
it's
say?
Craig.
It's Craig's determination.
Oh, so Craig is saying it does not have to be ADA accessible.
I
Did we
can,
get a letter from Craig on this one? No.
We could, we absolutely could.
I'll call Craig and ask him.
Yeah.
Because I don't know how handicapped people are gonna get upstairs in that second floor when you have an event up there.
Well, we wouldn't, we would,
We put them in the first floor, that's what you're saying, accommodating the first.
So if somebody's renting the second floor, okay?
Mhm.
Now, they're renting the second floor, but they have handicapped people that are coming. You're saying now the first floor will be accessible to them.
yes.
But so they have to know that the people are handicapped.
So anytime we would, that would be the offering that we would make, that we would only use the second floor space if we didn't need to.
Because you didn't know.
Well, that's how we communicate it very carefully to everybody.
Because that's hard to know. I mean, suppose I'm having a wedding. I don't know whether all my guests, which guest is handicapped. Yeah, I mean, somebody could have just became handicapped that I know nothing about. And they need the assistance and I rented you upstairs. Now, what would you do?
We've had a lot of conversations with Craig about it, and we were concerned about the same thing, and this is our resolution.
All right, well, if you can get that in writing.
So at no point, whether a person is handicapped or not, the restaurant will never be operating at the same time an event will be operating.
It could,
Yeah, it's a
So then
restaurant.
how
that
would you
goes
make that
on 20
accommodation that quickly?
The restaurant, your restaurant now is open, what, 5, 6, 7?
5 days a week. Well, the market's open 7 days a week.
Right, the market is open 7. So we'll see what Craig says.
Yeah, I'll talk to Craig. and
Okay,
find out.
yeah, consultant will, because it might have not, the conversation we're having may not be the same conversation.
So what were the exterior changes besides just
Just the stair.
next year's there?
Because it's already a top, you're not building anything,
Correct.
right? You're just changing what's there, existing to a living space.
Just the use of it. Correct.
What will be the occupancy of upstairs?
Numbers?
Yeah, approximate.
What's the plan?
I think it would be, I think we've discussed 40 or less. Maybe I can't recall what Craig, it's in our application and Craig was.
Maybe that could be in the letter as well.
Designated.
Should be on the plans.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, we're gonna set escrow here, okay? Because every application is reviewed by our consultant and by our attorney. Now, the involvement of the consultant is based on your engineer. If he does the job, then we don't have to, cost you less money.
Right here.
It costs you less money. If you get an engineer that knows what he's doing, it costs you less money, but if you get one where our consultant is doing your work, it's gonna cost you. Okay, so, Jean? Oh, do I get a resolution? So that's fine.
You get a motion to.
Can I get a motion to
I'll make a
send escrow for 60 South Front Street at, what's the amount?
Well, I think our consultant might have something to
That's
say.
okay. Did you put
It's
it?
gonna be minor from my end.
Yeah.
Because there's no real site plan, it's more of a building code stuff.
So what was our minimum? No, what was our median? 5,000?
I would go with 5,000 and we don't,
Yeah.
then we don't have to keep going back and forth. And
There'll be no legal review really for this.
I was thinking more like 25.
Yeah.
2,500.
Yeah. And given the scope of the project, if you don't have, if they don't feel it's gonna be legal and it's minimal amount of engineering.
Yeah, this is an escrow person.
We can always increase it, yeah,
Okay.
as the project goes along, if we need more.
How much?
So how much?
25.
25? Okay, 2,500, all in favor?
Who made the motion?
Who made the motion?
Random did.
Randall,
Who seconded?
I'm seconded.
who seconded, Virginia? Okay. That's Esther. Okay, so remember who did it, did you say who did it first and second?
There again.
You have to make the check out to the city of Hudson, okay?
There we go.
You'll get the resolution, as soon as we make it out, we send you the resolution, okay? Do we have your contact, who do you want us to send everything to?
It would have been Shaq, but he had disappeared.
Okay, so you gotta give us that new information,
Myself is for,
then,
our office, yeah. Ben at Nice and Weird LLC, Nice and Weird Group.com.
BEN at nice, NICE,
Yeah, Nice and
AND,
Group,
and what?
Nice and Weird,
Like weird,
like weird.
WEIRD.
.com.
Like a window?
.com,
Like a weird.
really?
That's what we're.
Weird, WEIRD.
Nice and weird group.com.
Was it nice and weird group?
Yes.
Hey, it's got a little sense of humor.
More than one. Okay, we'll send you the resolution and give you all the information, okay, and the amount. And then when you get the resolution, you can go and pay the city.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, so we'll see you next month and talk more about it if you can we ask for a rendering on this one too?
I mean, you can ask for a photo.
Can we get a photo?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, we're all citizens of the city of Hudson.
There are pictures in the submission.
There might have been pictures.
There's a good video.
I think there is.
There's a good
Not
visual.
really printed out, but I think there's some.
Print it out and bring it for the public that didn't look at the multi-cab. Okay? All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
And
And
good.
wait, just to confirm, does the planning board have any desire to set a hearing? Or not?
Not yet, no. Not yet. We've got so many things in the public hearing. We just
They give us
don't-
a short form, but it's like,
Type 2, you don't have to run.
Are you gonna be adding staff because of this? You'll be hiring more people?
You can leave it.
Always hiring more people, yes, but definitely. Can you get more people to hire?
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
No, yeah, we'll decide that next month. Okay. So now we have other business. We're finished.
Oh, whose hands up? This man's up? Oh, Margaret's hands up.
Yeah, that's what I kept saying.
It was enough.
I thought
Well,
that's
it's a new, it's not a public hearing. We don't have to address the public right now. And it's a new submission, you know, we'll see them next.
Is
week.
it a continuation, but the hand never went down? Or was it-
I don't know. Margaret, can you clarify? Do you have a current question?
And it has to be,
Yes, no, I do have a question.
for the
So,
new business, for 60 South Front,
excuse me?
is it for 60 South Front Street?
No, it has nothing to do with any of that. It has to do with the planning board and with the county supervisors. When the council voted to appoint Randall to the Columbia Council Board, the Board of Supervisors, Randall indicated that he would resign from the planning board.
No.
Just, I'm sorry. Let me finish. Please.
I was told.
I'm sorry. Please let me finish. Please let me.
Well, this is not the appropriate place for that question.
Just let
So it's not the place for that question.
Just let me
Well,
finish.
if you want to contact me separately, then please do, but the public hearing, your questions, if they don't apply to the last person that was here, then it's not applicable.
Okay,
Excuse me?
Margaret, that, if you have concerns about that, I think you should take it up with the city attorney. Okay? It's not a question that we are gonna address or can answer. So if there's a concern on your part about that, are you talking as a citizen or common council person? Because I know you're not talking for the entire common council. So, let's say you're talking as a common council person, you can address that with your, with Tom. With Tom, who is your president, your chair.
And Tom emailed me that there wasn't a
Don't worry about
conflict.
it. You can address it with Tom, or you can address it with the city attorney, okay?
Or the county attorney.
Count the city attorney, start there. Okay? All right, thank you. Have a good night, Margaret. All right, now, we move on. Okay, now is the planning board committee reports and decisions and our concerns and questions. I like to have time for just us to do our talking and, you know, one of the things I want to talk about was the procedures for escrow. We've been going back and forth with this. It seemed like in September, was it, Gene? The bills just stopped getting paid because it was stated that we wasn't following procedure. The procedure that was handed down, I was on the board at that time. It was never accepted by the planning board. It wasn't even signed. And the lawyer who did it, he resigned from the planning board after that. So Gene is now the official. Yeah, take it up with the attorney.
Escrow matter.
At escrow.
Yeah.
And all escrow will come through him, whatever he tells me to do, or anyone else to do, will do it. But procedures, we are going to do more procedures, and Gene is gonna take care of it.
Now, what happened, September, October, November, for whatever reason, the bills were not submitted, they did not get paid. In December, I discovered that mistake. So we had 3 months of bills that weren't paid, and the escrow accounts were negative. So the applicants were concerned that now they're paying all these bills. It was just, it slipped through the cracks.
Well, what the reason was, to be honest, is every night when I left here, I would get on the computer and send the bills to Tracy to say they were approved. But I kind of thought Gene was doing it, Gene, like, no, so it wasn't being done.
This is, okay, all right, then, like she was saying, there's an escrow policy from years ago that hasn't been followed in the ensuing years. So what Teresa and I are gonna do is get together and revamp that escrow policy to what we need today.
Right.
So it's gonna be, another month or two before we get it finalized. So
But this all
doesn't
relates,
happen again.
but this all relates to the changeover. Usually it was, not Teresa, but,
The
no,
secretary?
Tracy was previously handling this, right?
No, it came from, Teresa would send it to Tracy.
Right.
Tracy would have it paid.
That's what I'm saying,
I'll
that's what
take-
I'm saying, that's what it just
The
said.
bills came from the vendors, who is the consultant or attorney, to Tracy and me.
Yeah,
We would, and I would send them all out to everybody for approval. We would approve them. And then I would send Tracy an email at the end of the night, and I always did it when I went home. All bills have been approved for payment. Because we only approve them for payment, we don't pay them, we don't know
right,
when
right,
they're
that's what I'm saying,
paid.
but this all occurred after Tracy was handling that part, which she now does not.
She still handles that part, I
Still
just,
handling it.
right,
Oh,
I was not sending them, because I just took it that Gene was doing it, and he wasn't doing it, because he didn't know.
But because she
what
said
do.
to the treasurer,
Right, and so she stopped sending them, because I wasn't saying they're approved for payment.
but now she will.
Now she will,
She
yes,
will resume that.
right, but came in this, before she did it, she was saying something about the procedures, but those procedures were never adopted by the planning board.
Gotcha.
Actually, I think the planning board did agree to them.
Well, they never did it, not that part about sending them
So,
to
I
each
mean,
vendor.
whether it was implemented or not is another story, but at the time when it first was created, the planning board was part of that discussion.
They were, because they never did it, because I know that Betsy wasn't doing it, she handed off to Clark wasn't doing it, and Clark handed off to me, and I wasn't doing it, so So we're gonna get new procedures.
Okay.
We are going to forget those, we're getting new procedures that work for us now. Because we do have multi-cab, and I found out from the administrators in multi-cab that the bills can be uploaded to the individual applicants without anyone seeing them.
Okay. Is the city gonna do that?
That's what we're gonna work out. That's what we're gonna work out. Because if you guys do it, it's gonna cost them, so we're gonna work it out.
Yeah, my account's gonna string that.
Exactly, okay. So that's what we're gonna work out, because it can be. At first, we didn't know if it could, but now we're sure that it can be, and it's only for that applicant to see it. In other words, when we get a bill from an applicant, we can upload it through multicam, they'll see that bill themselves.
Well, I would like it if that feature, if they're gonna deploy that aspect of multicab, can we have them pay it through the platform directly to the treasurer? To the account. This way it makes it seamless. This way we don't, as an electronic thing, that's the way most people pay now. That would create additional efficiency.
What's
And
that? I missed it.
just saying that if we put that as part of the platform, the bill option, then it only makes sense that we have a payment option.
Oh, wait a minute, no. That bill is for payment from their escrow account.
Yes.
We would, if we got rid of the escrow account, then they could do it, but I think the escrow account is part of the procedure.
Yeah, I don't know that we would recommend getting rid of the escrow.
No, right.
No, I'm not talking about, I'm saying, once they get the bill, they can make that payment and the recipient of that payment would be the city in whatever account that they set up.
You'd have to work with the city though.
Yes, I mean, we work with the treasurer so that it goes to the right place and that creates additional efficiency. You don't have to wait for a check to come in, it just makes it, and it makes it more transparent.
Yeah, but see that, I know what you're saying, but that's exactly what we're saying is that all those payments for those invoices come from an escrow account that's been set up.
No, not their payments, the people's payments to us. Like now, there's two ways to pay.
Oh, you
People
mean
come
pay
in,
to the
they have to
city?
give a check to Gene, then Gene has to give that check to the treasurer.
No,
No,
Or they can send it to the
it
treasurer.
goes directly to the treasurer.
Right.
It cannot come to us. On occasion, over the last year that I've been here.
I thought sometimes
I had
people
two
came in.
occasions.
Right,
Where they had a check, they gave it to me.
Exactly.
And I hand delivered it to them.
right.
But normal procedure is they send it directly to the treasurer's office.
and they only send it we only ask them really for it after they get the resolution.
Right, but I think that the way they have to get it to them, they have to come to the office and give it to the treasurer.
Or mail it.
Or mail it.
Yeah.
But it's 2025 and they should be able to just send it.
Yeah, so
Throughout multicam.
Yeah, exactly, using the same platform into the account.
So we would have to ask the treasurer.
Right, but she would automatically have,
And that she's.
exactly, she would do a settlement and say, this is what I received.
Right.
That might be tough.
What do you say?
That might be tough. Do you guys have to set up individual accounts for the escrows?
Yes.
Yes, the treasurer does. that.
So,
Yeah, well, she does it now, though, it's still the same difference.
Yes,
Exactly.
yeah, you can pay your taxes online. You can pay your parking bill online.
Exactly.
That's something we'll have to discuss. with the
Okay,
treasurer.
that's a great idea. Thank you, Randall.
You're welcome.
Very great. It's true. Then we don't have to, it's all be right there written. Right, that'll help.
Yeah, that would create an efficiency and transparency and accountability, because you can see it all.
Okay, now I understand what you're saying. Yeah, that's great.
Gene, do you want to be copied on the invoices?
I am already.
Yeah,
Our invoices get copied to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you send it to her and she sends it to me. So I have it all.
no, Jody, I told Jody, she sends them to both of us.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have it.
And so does, Shannon, he sends them to both of us.
Just when I set up a job, I'll have to remember that they've got to go to one.
Oh, right, when you send the tax.
When I set it up in our system,
Right,
I actually say who it gets mailed to.
yes,
So I'll have to make sure that it goes to Gene too.
okay. All right, so we're gonna develop new procedures, so forget about what's there now. And we're gonna develop, so we want that in the minutes.
Well, can we do that? Can we
Yes.
forget about, well,
We never did what was there. Like you said, it might have been accepted, but it was.
but you said it was accepted in the minutes?
Policy before you set that up.
Right, it would, see, I believe that the I came on the board, I think in 19 or 20, I don't remember. But I think that's when, that group was the one that started that read through, that said, okay, we can use escrow, we're gonna do it. Cause they started using consultants and stuff.
Right. Well, the other thing that we gotta do, and like this will be part of the overhaul, is standardize escrow fees as per
Yeah.
what other towns do.
We already have a chart already set up,
Good, that's
but I don't have it with me tonight.
Okay, that'd be
We
excellent.
have a minimum and a maximum and
Perfect.
the dollar value of the project. Application fees, yeah, we have it, I just didn't bring it tonight.
Okay, that'd be perfect.
Which is like the kind of building permit fees.
Right, yeah.
Escrow's a little tougher than that, because you
Yeah.
never know what kind of engineer you're gonna get, what kind of applicant, and what kind of handholding you're gonna need to do as a process, you know, to
Do
get.
you wanna look over the chart that he has to see if it conforms to your
I
reality?
think I've
really?
looked at it, but again, it varies widely, depending on, like I said, the engineer and the applicant. You could have a complex project that there's not gonna be a lot of review, because they're checking all the, you know, the boxes.
Did you agree with the rationale that we said that projects above a certain price, or project amount, project spend over, projects over $2 million, projects over $10 million, projects under $100,000.
I don't think I saw
I
that.
don't think we did that, I don't think we did it like that.
No, I'm saying, do you agree that that type, is that a rational way?
Square feet is more of a.
Square feet, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, that's more exact than
Well,
mine.
People have an incentive not to give away how much construction is gonna cost for several reasons, but square feet
okay, I
is
see.
objective.
Right, okay. So you're saying square feet,
Yeah,
okay.
but I think we have a policy now, we can overlook it again.
Yeah, but the square feet might be, because I don't think it's tied to square feet. In terms of, like you said, the variance of how much people are gonna need, but you're assuming that the greater square foot the project, the more complex, the more engineering is gonna be required.
Yep.
And corresponding legal fees.
Mhm.
So any questions about escrow and procedures and guys, do you want to have some input on this? Well, I know that Christopher sends us a task order.
I send a task order for each job when it gets set up, and I'll send, or set like a, fee based on what the project, looks like. And that's usually just to get started. It's all right, it's gonna be $5,000, so that'll get us through the first couple meetings, or whatever reviews. And then depending upon how long the projects go, what kind of pushback you get from the public, like the boulevards has been extremely, the pushback's been, it's been a lot. That fee tends to increase, I'll give supplements, for the jobs to, supplement the fees, if that makes sense.
And and when he sends that, we should make sure that we have that in escrow.
And the way my bills work is, once I reach that, let's say it's $10,000. Once I reach $10,000, I can't bill anymore. I sometimes still work on it, because I know I'm gonna get a supplement, but I can't bill anymore until I get that signed.
Until he sends another one to get signed for the additional amount.
Correct.
It's also the secret determination between type 2 and type 1 action. Does that also indicate, how much work, obviously it indicates how much work you gotta do.
Correct. But again, it's a lot more of the applicant, how complete these applications are.
Right.
And that's why, we're trying to push that, submit a complete application. That way it's gonna be cheaper on the engineering review.
Has the checklist been helping?
You haven't had too many projects recently submitted that follow the checklist. A lot of our projects are still the old, and,
Right. Do you believe that if they did follow the checklist?
I believe that they do follow a checklist, and,
Okay, I'm gonna send a new applicant to checklist. That's
Yeah,
since I have to comply, I have to reply to them, I'm going to send them the checklist. Because if they come unprepared.
Is it part of Unicap?
Most have been filling it out, they're just small projects.
Yeah,
So because
Yeah.
they're small, they just bypass stuff, as they should, it's a type
Right.
2 action, they don't need this extreme
Right.
environmental review.
Yeah, but if they come unprepared, it's gonna cost them, it's just like when you have home insurance. If you get your own insurance, it's cheaper, but if you don't, and you have a mortgage, the bank is gonna give you insurance, and it's gonna cost you way more money.
but the bank is gonna insure them. They don't insure you.
Yeah.
Right, so here, if you're gonna use our consultant, it's gonna cost you. Use your own consultant, it won't cost you as much. You use your own engineer, get someone that knows what they're doing, get someone that can follow the instructions that we give. You don't have to spend as much money.
Take note, people.
Okay. Okay, so we'll be getting back to everybody with that, okay? Now we wanna do the, bills, okay.
Before we do that, we have a new application here.
Oh, yeah, we do. Okay, we got a new application by mail, and that's for Academy Hill Development. I gave a copy to everyone. So this is not, it's here, but I will write them a letter stating that they need to upload it. And we'll be on next month's agenda.
Did you get a chance to review this? Did you?
Oh, no, they just submitted it. I just got it out.
Okay.
They submitted it maybe in December, but I just got out the mailbox. I don't come here every day for the mail.
Okay.
Okay, and if I don't come here, I don't know what I have in the mailbox. Okay? And I noticed it today in the mailbox, and that's what it was, but the date on this is 27th. And we apologize, but I don't come here every day for the mail. And
Nobody reached out to us either.
and nobody reached out that I have an application.
But since we're all volunteers at this, it should be some sort of mechanism that the city lets you know that there's a mail here.
Well, to me,
I mean,
everybody's been
shouldn't be
going to
coming for you to come
multi-county.
every day.
Well, they should be on the.
Yeah, I don't understand that, well, if they went on the city website to get the application, they would have
It
saw it.
specifically said you need to go.
Right, it says so.
But if they're still receiving the mail, I think that, of any type, we should be notified. I mean, it should be incumbent on you to come here every day, 5 days a week.
And you did get your $300 check. There you go.
Hello,
Hey,
is somebody
Linda.
here?
Linda?
Linda?
The applicant did reach out in December, and I informed them at that time that they had to upload all the information. And if they had questions, they should contact me or someone else. There was no further contact.
Okay, so we got something in the mail, Linda, so
Okay.
I'll just send them the usually letter to tell them what to do.
Hey, Linda, how often are you at City Hall?
Yeah.
You want me to pick up the mail?
I'm asking, how often are you at City Hall?
Not, yes, for the application.
Not that often, but it's
Yes.
not far from my house.
I'm just, it would
We-
be
we-
interesting, somebody to check on it,
Yeah,
so.
but we really want people to use the.
No, I agree, but even if they send something, even if, it's not uploaded, they should have some way.
Well, the policy is that they have to upload.
They have, that's the policy we all agreed to, they have to upload.
Okay.
I mean, Linda, if you do come by and see something in the mailbox and it's an
Yeah.
application, please just let them know they have to
Definitely.
upload. It's not accepted until they upload it, that's it.
Okay.
Because she has
course.
a link that goes out to every applicant that don't upload, that they can contact her, she'll help them. And then I have a little something that I send out too. So do you want to send it out to Academy Hill since they did contact you first?
I can do that again.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, so Linda's gonna take care of responding to Academy Hill, okay? And they're gonna upload all of the stuff. So we'll hold-
Just using that.
Yeah, I'm gonna hold this one for a while. I gave you one, yeah.
Just curious what it is.
Linda, Jean has the application check for $300.
Dropping those tomorrow at the city treasurer's office.
Oh, it's right there.
Okay, so she's gonna put that in the notes
This
so
to
that we
construct
can.
3-story townhouse style residential buildings. Three-story townhouse. Yeah.
Rogers underneath.
Academy Hill, is that Rossman?
Yes, up top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't they have those up there?
Yeah, they're gonna build all the way across the hill.
Where's isn't it a graveyard up there?
It's behind it. It's separated by a row of trees and a road. And those tenants have two paths that go into the cemetery where they walk daily.
So are they building this in the cemetery?
No, they're building it with private property.
Cause I've been on there, I can see the space.
You kids
Oh,
both.
yeah, we're going to,
Maybe you two stores.
over to the old Academy Hill School, for the swimming pool, concrete swimming pool still up there. Okay, it's move on.
Okay. Oh, it was a gory area.
Gotta make a motion to approve the bills.
Okay, we gotta make a motion to approve the bills.
I gotta sub.
Oh, wait.
I gotta submit the first.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, Jean.
Now we turn it over to Jean.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, we have invoices from Barton and Lou Brutus for a total of $191.25.
And that was dated
That was dated
January 2024.
January 9th.
January 9th. January 9th, 2024.
Okay, what you want, wait a minute, what do you want to say?
I think this, take a look at this. I think this might have been submitted.
You interrupted me.
Sorry about that. No, but this-
Sorry. Well, why not apologize for them?
That's the thing.
Because
That's from website.
Yeah, he just downloaded the pages and copied them. He
What do you
didn't
want?
fill it in.
I think he must.
I didn't see it. What is it under?
It would be under Academy Hill Development.
Right, and it's not there yet. It's not there. I looked at it today.
Put it all together.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, here, put it back, okay.
So they took screenshots of the thing and filled it out.
We don't know. But we're on
Or they could print it.
I
and just
checked
not
the other day.
upload it.
No, I checked it today. I check it every time I come, it's not there. Okay, we're on escrow now?
Okay.
We'll go back.
Proceed.
Sorry, Gina. We apologize, Gina.
Okay, so we're, Barton and Lagunas, dated 1/9/2024 for $191.25.
19, and that should be paid under the 2024 budget.
Okay,
Linda, you have that? Yes, yes. Linda? Is she muted?
Yes,
Okay,
Yes.
that's one to be recorded.
all right. That's that one. And then we have the monthly one dated 1/13/2025 for Barton and Lagunas, $12,104.75.
That's the whole thing, this is how we're gonna track it.
Okay,
Okay,
okay, Linda? Okay, Linda? Now, with that, going through the bills, on your invoices, there's outstanding invoices not paid,
Yes, I believe so.
amounting to $10,973.
That's from September.
October, November, right, because last month you didn't get them in on time,
Correct.
right, okay, so that's it. So
but Tracy had said those are gonna be paid.
only if there's enough escrow,
Yeah.
right? So with this month's bill, $12,104.75. Between you and the other consultants. 726 Columbia Return Brewery is short, $294.75. Boulevards short, $7,242.24. 601 Union short, $4,806.71. And 4143 North 7th Street. We don't have an account established yet. And that goes $325. Now, if I
Jean, can you
remember, yes,
can you
Can-
please repeat the boulevards?
Boulevard short, $7,242.24.
Oh, we did.
And that's as of.
As of yesterday, January 13th.
Yeah, that's right.
And with these outstanding invoices from Barton and Lagudas, some of those accounts may be shorter yet. Because I just did that today.
Yeah.
So, but the monthly ones should be paid. If there's enough escrow in there. So you got, storage, 612. It's good. Fairview Avenue is short. 601 Union is short.
What's that?
We can continue.
Oh, wait a minute, yeah. 601 Union, so two of your accounts are not gonna be paid. We have to establish, replenishment ratio.
And those are the ones that Crystal was,
Right now, Crystal and I have been communicating back and forth to figure out what is owed and what was paid. We, as the board, don't know what's being paid,
And
when, who's paying it. So Tracy has some kind of a ledger account that I can ask for, and she tells me what's paid. And to verify it, I can contact the treasurer's office when the check was written to the, and then clear out the accounts.
something that might help you is I've got a spreadsheet with all my accounts that show what you're under contract for.
Mhm.
So when I get a supplement, I add a supplement into it,
Mhm.
so it'll, show that. And I'll start including you monthly on that,
Right.
so that you can see it.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we could make a motion to pay the bills, but we have to replenish some of these accounts.
so you wanna, you're gonna send us a email with what accounts have to be.
I'll tell you right now,
Okay, and then we'll make the motion to report.
Right.
Okay,
then do whatever you have to do.
all right.
726 Columbia Return Brewery. They're minus 294.75.
And they're still they're still in public hearing, right?
They haven't started public hearing.
Oh, they're still
Haven't started.
they haven't started, okay. So we wanna replenish their account by what?
Well, what more work that needs to be done?
They haven't even had a public hearing. Well, they try not to have a public hearing.
They're trying not to do anything.
Right.
Okay.
What are your thoughts or input?
That's probably gonna be at least 4 to 5 on my end.
Okay.
Again, depending upon board comments, engineering comments,
How
or
about
attorney
legal?
comments.
I don't think there was a ton of attorney time, but, we have to bill for our time at the meeting.
So 7, 10,
10 is a good number,
10.
Yeah.
okay? So 726 Columbia replenished for 10K, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
all in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Linda, you got that 726 replenished for 10K. Okay, go ahead, what's the next one?
All right, the boulevards. If I remember correctly, we requested replenishment a couple meetings ago,
Right, I don't think they ever replenished.
and they did.
He said he was gonna do it. and-
Right, it was like $8,000.
Yeah, but
if I remember. And well, we never received it, so right now, the boulevards is short $7,242.24.
And they have to pay that before they come back.
Right.
Don't you agree?
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to pay that before they come, they wanna come back next month, but that has to be cleared.
So should it be a total of 12 then,
What do you say, Julie?
or more?
10?
How much did we ask for them before?
I thought it was 8.
Linda, could you give us an idea of what did we ask for the boulevards? The last time we asked for a replenish
Here's just your calendar.
of escrow for the boulevards, how much was it? I think we did it either in November or December, we asked to replenish the escrow.
In December, It looks like you asked for, it was, we didn't know, we looked at one.
Who's talking?
Victoria.
Oh,
We looked at one.
Linda, did you hear me?
It looks like we asked.
I'm checking.
Okay, and Dean said it was in November.
$518.
We asked what?
$9,518.58, which was just the amount due plus 2,000 to get into the next meeting.
So how much?
That's 2,000, get into the next meeting.
But they need to cover the next meeting, so I would say a minimum of 12.
Okay, right now, if we ask them for 9,518 plus 2,000, that's 11,518.
12.
But aren't they at the end of their process?
They've got one more review, and depending upon how thorough it is,
There's gonna be legal document, there's gonna be conditions even.
Parking,
they still have to do the seeker
the
resolution.
parking, the extended parking
I thought we
is
gave them
taking time.
What's that?
This is for the boulevards?
Yeah.
We give a seeker?
No, we haven't
No.
drafted.
Yeah, we have
No,
to
I
draft
don't-
it.
I don't think we're.
So I would say we do, an amount where we don't have to come back, because they're not paying what they're asking.
Was it 12,
Yeah, I think 20.
14?
I wouldn't do 20. 20 is way too much. I would say 12 to 14.
14 additional 12 to 14 or 14 total?
14 total, that means there's only
14
$7,000 left for our review. And they'll get back whatever is left.
Okay, so 14 total. What did the board say, 14?
14. So when's the last time we got a check from them? Was that November?
No. They-
No, he
That was the
said
last
they
time we
still
asked.
they asked for it, and they never-
When's the last time we got money from them?
You would have to get the records.
Linda would have to ask the secretary, ask Linda. if
That
she
would be
could-
important to clarify. We
Linda,
haven't
can you
received
clarify
any
that
money
for us?
From you since such and
Oh, we
such.
don't, wait a minute, no, that's something we have to ask this
Right.
Treasurer?
treasurer,
Me.
yeah. What'd you say?
That's right. Ask the treasurer.
Okay, yeah, that's something we have to ask the treasurer,
I said you wouldn't
because it doesn't come to her, it doesn't come to
have
us.
to go down.
What are we voting on? Okay,
Boulevards.
give me, can I get a resolution to, a motion to
Replenish
replenish
14,000
14,000 for the
and
boulevards?
seconded by.
Teresa, can you let us know when
Yes.
the money comes in?
Yes,
Because we won't do any
promise.
more work until.
okay.
and I know
Who
they're
first
gonna
and
go, so-
seconded?
I first, Jean second,
And
we all are in favor?
Jean.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Who first and second this one? Do you have it?
We
Who
didn't
first
do
is-
that.
which
Who
one?
first and second is 726 Columbia?
No one, no one.
Okay,
It was just-
can I get a motion?
First, I make a
It
motion.
was Randall and
Okay,
Dr. Bettina.
random,
Dr. Bettina.
and, okay, so the first one, 726 Columbia, the motion to replenish is 10,000, Randall and, Dr. Young seconded. The motion for the boulevards to replenish 14K, it was seconded by Virginia and, Jean. Okay, Jean, go ahead, it's getting late.
601 Union Street, minus $4,806.71.
But we did send them, we sent them a resolution to replenish.
Right, now, with 601 Union, like I said earlier, the attorney and I have been going back and forth, as to what was paid, what is it, so that's still in the law.
So what was the amount that?
So right now, according to the treasurer's records, they're minus $486.71.
400?
$4,806.71.
And what did we request?
You requested 11,000 after the last meeting. So if that, you don't have to request more if that hasn't come in yet.
No, that has not come in yet. So we don't have to do a resolution for 601 Union because we already requested 11,000. That has not come in yet.
Can we create a reminder, send a reminder?
Oh, it hasn't come in yet.
No, it has not come in yet.
Because the balance, as of yesterday, was minus $4,412.96, plus December's bills brings it up to minus $4,806.
Who's in charge of?
Okay, so if we ever get the $11,000, we'll have 6,000.
Which should be plenty.
Which should be plenty.
Yeah, they're almost
You
done.
can pick someone or you could direct the secretary, Randall.
Who sent the letters out
So maybe it
last
should be
time?
Linda.
Teresa sent them?
what's the question?
They
We
were,
drafted a whole bunch of
Send a
letters.
reminder
We
letter.
Sent them out.
Linda sent them, we said, put them in multi-cab, they were notified.
Yeah.
Okay, that, because that's what triggered, Crystal to ask the question, yes, they were all notified. I mean, we can't, you know, this is the business, they have to, they're notified. Okay, so we do not have to do a resolution on 601 because we're waiting for the 11th. Okay, and you're working with Crystal on that one, right?
Yes.
But the longer it takes, then the more, you know, they stay in our queue.
No, they don't do any more work on them until they.
I know, they stay, you know, do a.
So
yeah,
one
we
was
still got
already
the cable.
conditionally approved, so if they just won't get their plan signed, if they haven't paid all fees and escrow or their conditions
Right,
of site plan approval.
right.
Right, in other words, we have a resolution to approve them, but we did not stamp their plans into the conditions.
They had a long list of conditional items they needed to work through.
And see, that's the problem.
You talking about 601?
Yeah,
601, yeah.
and that's an issue, because when we do things like that and they have such a long list, that was a concern of ours. They won't pay the escrow, because they're still with the consultant.
But that's
Can
why
I
number
just
one
jump
is
in and
always
say something
criminal.
quickly?
Who's that?
Yeah.
Crystal.
Yeah, this is Crystal Hines speaking.
Oh, what was your question, Crystal?
Well, I just wanted to comment that the reason 601 hasn't paid the requested escrow is we haven't been able to get a statement from the city that matches the requested monies from the board. So what the board is saying, the escrow is overdrawn, is not what the city is saying. We're just looking to get reconciliation on that before anything is paid. I think that's reasonable.
It's because I don't think the city is updating the attractions, right? Okay, right.
Well, there was one bill the city didn't have from January that I think that you voted to approve today. So that was one that you were seeking to get paid for that you just approved payment for today. And there was another from September that we received, I think last week from Jean. And thank you, Jean, for that. But we haven't seen the one that was approved today.
Well, what I could say, Crystal, is I would advise you to tell your client to pay the escrow.
Well, again, we'll pay the escrow when the accounts justify and all the numbers add up. I think that's reasonable.
Is escrow ever going to match
No,
bills? No.
we have no control over when the bills are paid from the escrow.
Yep.
No, all we do is approve for payment.
Yeah, well, escrow is a pot of money that's put away for reviews.
Exactly.
So your bills are never going to match necessarily escrow.
Well, but this
When you're looking for replenishment, you should be able to tell us if this is what your account is overdrawn. These are the invoices that comprise that total. If we can't get that from you, that's problematic.
Right, she's not saying the escrow needs to match, the total, the requested amount needs to match, she wants reconcile the amount that was paid out, just
Okay.
particular invoices.
And where did she get that?
Now, Crystal,
The treasurer.
I sent you the, if you might, the balance sheet that I had in December, okay? Explaining where those amounts came from. Now, this morning, Teresa has two invoices that you requested.
I sent it to everybody, the secretary. I thought I
And she
sent it
will
to
be
her.
sending that to you tomorrow. There's two of them.
Let us send it to her.
I forget exactly who it was or what the amounts were, but you will be getting it hopefully tomorrow.
Perfect. I thank you for that.
It was two that you had requested, which I just found today, so. It's a work in progress. Please bear with me.
Okay, you wanna go ahead?
Okay, continuing, we have one more. 4143 North Seventh Street. There's a outstanding bill of $325, and they have no escrow account established.
They haven't been here yet. It's a Thai restaurant, right?
Yes.
I've never been here.
They've never even been here. They've been here.
Well, there's an outstanding bill of $325.
They never came to present to the plan. That's the gentleman who said that he didn't know to come.
Yeah, I should have a bill.
Because all applications are reviewed by the,
It's from Victoria's Group.
yeah,
Gotcha.
all applications are reviewed by the planning board attorney. and if need to be consulted
All right, so we need an escrow account set up.
when they come.
You can do it without them being present.
We could do it without them being present?
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you wanna do?
What's your, it's a small
Right
project.
now they owe $325.
Two
So they're putting an
thousand?
awning up?
Yes, yeah, put it in all
$325.
No, I'm saying two
There's
thousand.
nothing on, that I'm gonna review on it.
There's no.
Yeah, so plus
there's no legal
plus that, make it 2,500.
No, 500. 600.
They already owe how much?
They owe
Yeah, Joe.
$325 right now,
So kind of know that now.
Okay.
$1,000.
Yeah, we usually do 1,500, they'll get it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the minimum is 1,500, okay? So they're gonna set up an escrow to establish escrow for 1,500, okay?
Motion by
Motion to, have, 41 and 43 North Seventh Street Thai Restaurant to establish escrow at $1,500. Who, Jenny? And second? Dr. Young? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
and now we have bills from Rodenhausen, Solari, and Polidoro,
Please, Jean, the totals you just gave us included our bills as well, right?
which is that?
The totals you just,
The applications we just requested escrow on, that included our bills?
Yes,
Okay, great.
yeah. Okay, so where was I? RCP, bill for $1,287.50. Who's that?
RCP,
Victoria's Group. Okay,
for what date?
this is, January 9th, 2025.
Oh, this is January 9th? What did you say, 1,000?
All right, hold on. Hold on, my mistake. This invoice you gave me, it's a whole list of other accounts. All right,
That one doesn't,
this one's the general account,
Yeah.
which is automatically paid, $300.
right,
All right, the correct voucher for RCP dated January 9th, 2025 is $3,987.50.
can I get a motion to, oh, you're gonna
Go
do that?
ahead, you got it.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the bills from, RCP for $3,987.50? Jenny, who's second? All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, next.
We're done. I'm done.
No, this one,
What's
I
that?
like that. This is being
Want to do this?
for January.
We did that one.
You already did that one, that's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
one
this one,
ninety,
yeah.
that's the 191
Yeah.
is the change.
Yeah.
No, that was one for 199, then it was one for 12,100 and,
Well, no, we did it.
we did this?
Yes.
Okay,
This is the first one we did.
okay, we wanna make sure it's in,
That's why I told her we got outstanding.
okay, I wanna make sure it's in the minutes, that's it, that way. And then I wanna make a correction to the minutes for last month. Can I do that?
When you say make a correction, I mean, you can suggest a correction and we can vote on it.
Yeah, to put the bills in for last
It's
month.
just like in like an accounting program.
I don't think you can do that because it
Program
wasn't.
where you just
You
look
can
at
read it
it.
into the minutes, so.
Can we read it now for last month?
You can read it into this month's minutes.
Okay,
And I
we'll not do that.
You just match them up, man.
Okay, I wanna read
Oh,
I wanna read last month's, bills totals into this month's minutes for last month. Because from now on, we're gonna start, when I went back to trace what did we pay, what didn't we pay, it was just no consistency in how the bills were being recorded in the minutes, and that's because we were not saying it properly. So now, we have to say it properly, and this will be our record as a planning board, Jean. If we have to go back and we know that this voucher was approved, then we know every bill within this city voucher was approved. Okay, so, okay. As a correction for last month's minutes, can I say that? Okay, I want to put in this month's minute.
These aren't part of last month's minutes, so you want these read into this month's minutes.
I want these bills read into this month's minutes.
Okay.
January minutes. Okay, we have a city voucher from, RCNP, that's Victoria's Group, dated 12/5/2024 for a total of $4,125. Okay? Could I get a motion? Do what? Yeah.
No, you've already,
We already had it. Okay, so I want the next city voucher that I want read into this month's minutes is from, B&L, dated 12/10/2024. And the total voucher is for $3,142.50. Okay, and they were all approved last month. So now we'll know when these bills were approved.
That's helpful, thank you.
It's helpful for us when we go, because everything's fine until you get a problem. And that's how you know. Okay? All right, thank you, that's wonderful. Any questions on that?
No,
We approve the
I have a
bill?
question about training, but I can.
Okay, let me just go over the minutes.
minutes.
Okay, now, there was some little changes to the minutes. So, can I get a motion to approve December minutes with the changes? Jenny first,
And I will second.
all in
You
favor?
need to tell me what they are.
I sent you a, with the little red stuff, so that's not good enough? It had.
I didn't get that. When did you send it?
Oh, I sent it some time ago, before I even sent you the email. I'll send it again, and if that's not good enough, let
Thank
me
you.
know.
No, that'll be good.
Okay, because I sent it some time ago. What happened is, they just put it in red. That's it.
Okay,
All right.
just
All
send
right,
it
so,
again.
all right. So those are the minutes with the changes that have been approved, right? All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain, I was here.
All right, that's true. Okay, Jenny? Oh, training. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so are we gonna adjourn first? Or-
Now, we better put it in the
Okay.
minutes.
All right, so I have a question, which is, anybody signed up for tomorrow's training?
What
The wetlands? It was the first one, I didn't read it. I just was confused because there seems to be overlap, are they all different?
Are these the planning ones?
Yeah. Oh, we got a new
I
one
sent it from
you.
you, but you got it from me, right?
Right,
And when I opened that, I was just as confused as you are.
okay.
But I
thank
signed
you.
up for all of them.
So did I. I figured it would-
Overachiever.
I thought it would become clear tomorrow.
Right, so you signed up for training tomorrow, I didn't see one for tomorrow.
Yeah, it's from 1:30 to 2:30.
Okay.
Because they all say the same thing,
Yeah, they did,
so,
but underneath, when you open it,
Okay.
then it'll tell you what it is.
okay,
It was-
well, I'll go tomorrow, I mean, I'll sign.
The training was
tomorrow.
online though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna zoom in tomorrow, and then it'll all become clear.
So, is that okay, or do we have to get permission for that?
They didn't ask for any money, they didn't ask for anything.
New York, the Department of,
New York State.
New York State Department of State sent me, I put my name to register, and they send all training. Training for planning board members, zoning, everybody, but it's all together. So it's hard to figure out what we should be taking as opposed to somebody that has nothing.
Do you wanna
do with
show
planning
this to?
So you could forward it to us.
board. Okay, I forwarded it to you. I think I did, though. I didn't forward it.
I mean, you forward a lot, I don't.
It's very true. No, I know I do, because I have a habit of just sending everything to all of you, including Shane,
No, it's a good habit.
no matter what
And
it
when
is.
did you get this?
Huh?
When did you get this?
It comes to me. I signed up for it. Yeah, I
recently.
signed up for
Remember the
notification.
other one?
From January.
They told us all full,
January.
sorry.
Right. I signed up for notifications, and when they come on my email,
Yeah.
I said, oh, training, send it out. So,
I don't like to see it in my emails.
here, you want me? And then I opened it and it was real, like, wow.
Is it applicable to the planning board? Some of the training I don't send on because you don't deal with wetlands in the city.
So that might not be acceptable.
There's very few wetlands that you're gonna.
Right, you heard that, Jenny?
What?
Wetlands might not be
No,
applicable.
I'm not saying it's not acceptable, it just might not be that relevant to what we were.
But it'll count, right?
Yeah, you know, you still
Wow.
owe us an hour,
She did.
don't you owe us an hour?
You want, we can give you another.
Yeah, they owe us an hour from last year.
Yeah.
I don't know if we owe it. We will provide it.
No, but we put in the budget 2 hours.
Yeah, we did, okay, so we'll do another training for you.
Okay, so they're gonna do another training, do you know what day?
We don't have it. No, we will come up with a day.
Okay.
Is it gonna cover wetlands?
If someone gives me a topic, that'd be great too.
What topic would we like to be?
Okay, let's discuss it later, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting late, why don't we think about it, and, I'll try to think of a topic that would be timely and relevant.
Right.
Any suggestions, send it to me.
Now, this year, almost everybody got their 4 hours. So please, it's required.
Yeah.
All right. It's required.
All right.
So can I make a motion to adjourn?
Oh, yeah, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I made a motion.
I second that.
All in favor? Anybody opposed? Good night, everyone.
Oh, my God. Oh,